Good friggin' Saturday morning. This is probably going to take me 3 5-minute rampages to explain the method to the madness. Rolls is the topic. Rolls. Not the kind that you put hot dogs on, all right? And not the rolls of fat under here. People, some of you may find this boring. Some of you may go, wow. Some of you may not watch past the next sentence. This is a gray sheet. It's the only pricing guide that's somewhat standardized when you do business. It's not perfect, but if you're trying to get an idea of whether the seller is in the ballpark when they're giving you a price, you need one of these. You don't have to subscribe. Look at mine. I just got my new one. December 2022. I know the stuff that I sell and buy, the prices don't change much. I don't do bullion. All right. This is the section on page 34, 5. That light's bright. Light bright. Man, anybody have a light bright when you were a kid? There I go again. Anyway, mint state and proof rolls. It starts with cents or pennies. He said pennies. And goes all the way through dollar coins. These are wholesale numbers. Without reading what it says, these are for typical rolls. Those of you who love pennies know that all rolls are not typical. They have a little bit of spotting maybe. The luster may not be perfecto. That's a typical roll. That's wholesale. If they're garbage rolls where they're spotted to hell and back, those rolls may not be worth dick. They might be worth average circulated wheat penny prices. That's really bad rolls. I don't buy those kind of rolls for the most part. If they're primo rolls, cherry, ass, red, they're probably worth double this sheet, as much as even more. It has taken me the better part of 3 years since I first moved here, and I had a helper who I gave 26 rolls twice a day and said, Jerry, Uncle Jerry in heaven. He didn't know anything about pennies. He was an antique guru. I showed him exactly what to do. Lay these out on your desk. Don't finger them up. You don't need white gloves. Just don't touch the surfaces of the coins. He was more OCD than me. He was doing 26, 60, 52 rolls a day because he was retired. He got into it. I said, I want you to count to 50. I want to make sure there's 50 coins. So somebody didn't pull one out years ago and put in their book. Or there wasn't 51 because somehow there got to be an extra one in plastic tubes. If you find some nice toners, that's great. Just put them back in the tubes. Make your notation on the top of the little sticker. A plus or A, B, or C. A was primo cherry. B was typical, and C was junk. When he passed away, he had made it from 1953 up to 1962. That was a large chunk of what I had of big value. He never got past 1962, and neither did I. I have had numerous people, too many people, you can never have enough customers, saying, when are you going to sell some rolls? I have started that project dozens of times and never get done. It's getting done now. Yesterday was 8 hours sitting on my ass on that floor, counting by date, putting it on an Excel spreadsheet with wholesale prices of each roll, because I'm pretty much sure of what my retail price needs to be. The garbage C-level rolls aren't even getting sold to anybody unless they want junk rolls on the cheap. None of these have been searched for varieties or errors. That's the beauty. But I also understand the cherry ass red rolls that I can sell at 1.75 or double, even a little more than double this sheet, are what goes on that spreadsheet. Now, this is where I piss in your Fruit Loops, for those of you who think you know. What is the difference between an original bank wrap paper shotgun roll or even a hand wrap paper roll and a roll in a coin tube, either Meghrig, Whitman, double end cap style or any of the other styles that people put in coin tubes years ago. What is the difference between that original bank wrapped roll and that tube roll? It's a trick question, people. No difference. If you got a seller that looks at what he buys and knows they're original. And that's what I've done as I've bought rolls up consistently for 3 years, including a hoard I had prior to leaving the coin business to be messed up in a personal relationship. I almost never get a complaint. I get a few people, I didn't find enough BIE errors. I don't care. I don't want them back. I've been around a long time. The only time I've had anybody mess with me in all the years of eBay, whenever I've sold original rolls, was a roll of 1939 Primo nickels. That's a tougher date in BU. And the seller returned them. He swapped the coins on me. And guess what? He got an F you. You're not getting a refund. I've got your circulated rolls. You've got my rolls. And I reported his ass. It's only ever happened once. So if you're buying my rolls, I don't want returns. Would I take a return if you bought a lot of shit from me over the years? Probably. I would be a little more careful in the future to sell you rolls. I did a deal with a big-time dealer that you all know. He was unhappy with 3 rolls of 12. $3,100 deal. Good shit. We worked it out. That's my sales pitch. I'm going to cut this into sections. How is this going to work now? Because I've got want lists coming out the wazoo. The reason I'm making this video is I don't have the time left on my odometer of life to lay out every roll I have and take a picture of each roll. I can do a few sample rolls and say, look, this is a nice group, but I already know now. I'm going to know ahead of time whether it's cherry-ass red rolls priced at double the sheet or somewhere 1.75 times if it's an expensive date. If it's a date on this sheet that's bid at less than $2, I'm not selling them for less than $5 a roll. It's $5 a roll standard. If they're one of these rolls that's $1 bid, you're paying $5 to get it. That's still cheap. It's 5 times the sheet, but it's still cheap. Why is it still cheap, Sleep Dog? Because you get 50 coins. You get 50 chances at an RPM or DDO or DDR or some minor error, and you got 50 gem red coins. Get your price guide out. If it's a common ass 1962 roll that bids at $1, how much is that a coin at $5, people? That's 10 cents a coin. You have 50 nice coins, probably. And if you want to play the grading game and go for an MS67 coin worth $30, go for it. I don't play that game. I don't have the bankroll to do it. I don't want to do it. That's my point. I'm going to see how this goes. I think there's going to be a lot of interest. And if there's not, in 6 months, maybe I'll look at my pricing structure again. But I'll never, ever again have to take inventory because it's going on that sheet today. I'll show you where I am with the project. We're at 8 minutes, so I'm going to cut this in half. I've been working this direction, making sure all these stragglers are in date order. I keep 2 rows of every date for a reason. These are untouchables because I'm going to build starter sets the rest of my life. I always have. But that still leaves 800 or 900 rolls, including some nickels that I'm not even including in this rant. So if I have 60 rolls of 1960D large date, it's going on the spreadsheet. $5 a piece. That might be one I lower to $4 a piece or $3 because I got too many. This is the result of a want list somebody sent me. This is better stuff. If he takes the deal, these aren't going in that calculation. This is the only unknown I have. I don't have many paper rolls. They're on a separate column on the spreadsheet. To me, they're the same. If they're cherry as red, that's the same as these. Let's wrap this up. I asked the question, what is the difference between a shotgun paper roll that was rolled by a rolling company or a bank all those years ago and a tube roll? I said, basically no difference. That is not totally true. And I understand why some of y'all don't want to buy tube rolls because sellers are crooks sometimes. They will take a roll and it's not original. They accumulate 50 1956 wheat pennies that are uncirculated and throw them in the tube and say that's original. That's not an original roll. That's a roll that's been put together. These are not what I have. These are original. Now, there might have been one coin missing out of a certain roll. Sure, I'll throw one nice BU red in there, and it's not officially totally original, but it's 49 original coins. It's good enough to use this pricing list the way it was intended to be used. Now, if you made it through 10 minutes of me flapping my dick beaters, and I do have some of y'all's want list. I do have shared videos or still pictures of those of you who just collect rolls. You're not opening them up to look for stuff. You're just keeping them because you like original rolls. You're good with these rolls, people. And if you're really sharp and you collect that kind of stuff and you're willing to pay somewhere over $330 for a 1934 roll, I can get those rolls too. My inventory starts at 1953S, I believe it was. I have one left. But there's a few sources that know the Sleep Dog, that have known the Sleep Dog since Moby Dick was a minnow. They're the same way I am. They don't retail spotted rolls. If I'm spending big bucks because Joe Blow wants a 1946S roll that bids at 200 and I have to pay 240, I'm selling at 280. 20% over the sheet, but it's still a hell of a deal. Because where are you going to get that stuff? I'll give you two sellers on Facebook. I don't like either one of them. Well, one of them don't like me. The other one's a dork. They have good product. Shameless shout out to somebody I compete with. Blaine Newport, he's a dork. He's got good shit. Brian Keith Sims, hell of a nice guy. He butted heads with me because of some stupid shit on Facebook about his old lady that I wasn't even serious. He blocked me. He bought a lot of coins from me when he was learning. You can buy from him. He's an honest dealer. The fact that we don't get along is irrelevant. Everybody knows coppercoins.com. Chuck is a guru. I'm a guru. When a guru talks to a guru, E.F. Hutton in North Carolina is talking. Sleep Dog's listening. Because I might learn something. All right. I got allergies. Pray for me today. My nose is running. Go catch it. No, last but not least, I might as well make this 15 minutes long. To my besties on Facebook, most of y'all did not know me before 2017, right when my own mess started personally. Every one of those people are still my friends. You know why I got into coin business all those years ago when I was still collecting? Is because I loved it. I still do. I just don't collect. You know another thing about the coin business that is awesome? You got people from all walks of life, from the guy who was homeless to the guy worth millions, and there are a few of those, and we're buddies. There's even a few ladies out there that are into the coins. It's one of those old boy, old girl networks. If you're talking coins, you're at a coin shop. Aren't you happy? It's the passion that brings people of all levels together because we're friends. That's the beauty of this business and hobby. It wasn't like that on eBay for the most part because you didn't get to know their life story. You didn't get to know their wife's name, their kids, their dogs, their cats. You got an email every now and then. I got a stack of emails back there from the old days of people who took the time to type a wonderful email to tell the wife, Kenny, or the husband, Kenny, and the wife, Joanna, KenJo, how much they enjoyed buying our coins. I was the young guy dealing with old people in those days. Now I'm the dirty, curmudgeon old dude dealing with young people. And that's why we gurus get frustrated, because there's so much disinformation. It's the blind leading the blind, and that's why most of us don't like Facebook. We just don't, because it's drama from the time we open our phones in the morning or emails or personal messages on the computer to the time we turn it off. But then again, there are 10% of y'all who have that passion, who really want to learn the right way. That's my rant, all about life, coins, rolls, and what I'm doing with this business for those of you who need rolls. I got a lot of other coin series I deal with, but I'm focusing on rolls because that's what I got the most of. And that's what's going to pay my relocation fee to get to Florida, is if I start moving these things more quickly. Have a nice weekend.